Alright, so in this session, we are going to deal with the answers or the solutions or how to write the answer type of thing, right? So, first of all, let's try to identify what is related to which strategic objective, right? Because we have to build an answer according to five strategic aims of the company, right? So there are five strategic aims, right? There are few easier one, right? So let's try to pick easier one first, and then we will move towards the rest of the question, right? Because this is the way how we should do things in paper, right? Pick the easy one first, right? So the easiest is the sustainable part. To be leader in sustainable business practices which protects the environment and support local people, right? So first see if you have any information in the financial data, and then we will move towards the non-financial one, right? So sustainable best practices, right? Mm, can you see anything? Yes. Sustainability and community assistance, it was 2.4 million in 2005 compared to, it's not 12, it's 1.2 million, right? If you magnify this, it's 2.4 and 1.2 million, right? So there has been a reduction of around 50%. If you take the difference, it's around 50%. So almost 50% of cost has been reduced, right? Okay, fine. Let's not discuss about this. Let's try to just mark all these things. So the third one is okay. Let's discuss also. The company wants to become the leader in sustainable business practices which protect the environment and support the local people. So as far as this is the third one, yeah. So this is actually related to the third objective. So technically company has saved money, but the point is we need to see if this saving is at the compromise of sustainability issue. That was given here, right? We have already identified. Robin Holt University won Green Environmental Award for their campuses, which all have extensive recycling facilities. Students were also involved in local Grow to Give food sharing project of that year, which provided thousands of pounds of worth of fresh produce to food poor residents due to staff shortages. Now, this is the problem. Due to staff shortages, the university was not involved in this project in 2006, and the recycling bins have also been abandoned because of the cost of using them. So this is the way they have reduced their cost, right? So what do you think? Try to pause this video and think for a while what you should write in the performance measurement part. Should you praise this idea of reducing cost? Will you give it a thumbs up or not? See what the company is doing. Company has saved 50% of the money. At the expense of what? At the expense of being non-sustainable, because the award which it won in the last year was actually because of that. So if company is not continuing with sustainable practices, then definitely company is compromising its sustainability objective on the in order to save the cost, in order to increase the profit. And definitely this is something which we call short termism, right? Company is focusing on short term profit, and it's compromising on the long term objective of the company, strategic aim of the company. So this is something which is not good for the company, right? So we have to write with respect to this part: sustainability and community assistance, that company save money. And then we have to show the bad picture of what is the consequence of saving that money, right? So this is an easier part. Acha, by the way, this is of 20 marks. So, and you have five strategic objectives. So technically there are 4 marks per objective, right? But I think it's not that simple, because there are so many things, because very less amount of content is given for few areas like sustainability. There are just 2 points given here, and there are a lot more things are given for the other perspective. So it's not as simple as 4 marks per point, but it should be, I mean, for this part it should be not more than 2 to 3 marks. You should focus maximum to 3 marks, right? So for 3 marks is perfectly fine, right? Now what's next? The next, this is the easier area, so we did that. And let's move towards the fourth one: to provide attractive, innovative conference and event facilities, attracting clients both nationally and internationally, right? So, conference, definitely there will be some revenue, right? So, conference and other events revenue has been increased by 2 million. So this shows the confidence of client, because there's more revenue involved here. And is there any cost related to conference and other? Yeah, probably this one. Initially it was 8 million, now it's 8.3 million. So you just need, if you want, you can take the profitability analysis. I mean, how profitable it was in 2005 compared with 2006. So I mean, here it was around 50%, 8 million expenses out of 16 million revenue, and its profitability has been increased because now it's 8.3 compared with 18 million, right? So you can easily calculate that part. And what is on the non-financial side? Non-financial side is this one here. The examiner has identified that, look, there are two issues here. The first one was related to event related things, and the other one is related to the research part, right? So they said that the company had, that the university had won innovation award for its new innovative conference facilities, which have attracted new number of clients in the last year. So as far as this perspective is concerned, company actually performed well. I will show you how to write it, right? Let's complete 3 parts and then I will show how to write, and then we'll move towards first and second one, right? um so yes, so this is also of maximum 2 to 3 marks, not more than that. I mean, you can calculate profit percentage, a revenue change, and you can connect it with here. But keep this thing in your mind that only 4 marks are available for calculations. So don't calculate too much, right? Alright, so this is also done. Now, what is the last one? To be recognized both nationally and internationally for the scope and relevance of their research, right? So, research, is there anything related to research here? Research grants has been reduced, right? In 2005, research grants were 4.5 million. In 2006, research grants were, income from research grants were around 3.5 million, right? And the expenditure of research grants was 4 million in 2005, 4, and it's 3.1. So probably we are getting revenues for doing the research, and obviously we are researching for it. So almost we are spending uh, equal amount of money, right? So we are not here to generate the profit, but the point is we are generating some little bit extra grants as compared with the expenses, right? But the problem here, and there is a reduction in research grants, because now initially it was 4.5, now it's 3.5. And probably because of the reason that the company is unable to do a good research and has not won any reward. So obviously the government might be seeing this as an avenue which is not producing results, so probably they are not giving much grants to the company, right? So there's a bad thing here. So we have to write the concern here is reduction in government grants, research grants reduction, and companies unable to produce research, right? So these two things are connected with here, and again 2 to 3 marks, not more than that, right? Now let's move to, so these are three areas which is given here. um, let me try to show you the suggested answer. Not this one, not this one, here. See, this is the basically the way we are supposed to write, right? You may pause this video and read it, or let's read it all together. I mean, let's read this together. The effort. This is the third part. The effort the effort to make campus environment friendly by use of recycled bin producing and winning a green environment award for it depicts the commitment to work with sustainable working environment. Considering the climate changes issue, it was much needed step. Along with that, sharing food is a small step towards encouraging inclusiveness. However, in 2006, both of the projects were abandoned due to staff shortages and extra costs. This step has reduced the sustainability cost by 50%, but the company is now deviating from its objective of becoming leader in sustainable business practices. So we have highlighted that, look, 50% reduction you did, okay, fine, but you have compromised on your basic strategic objective, right? To provide attractive and innovative conference and event facilities, in 2006, RU experienced a notable 13% increase in revenue from conferences, right? I think it was 16 to 18, and event reflecting a positive growth trend. Moreover, the organization effectively managed its event expenses, reducing cost of sales by 3.9%. So as I said, that you can easily calculate its revenue percentage. The company was honored with an award for its excellent conference facility and successfully acquired new clientele, indicating a strong strategic focus on this aspect, right? And this last one is again simple. Research income for the company declined by 1.3% year, along with the corresponding reduction in associated costs. In contrast to local university, which has won an award, the company did not achieve similar success. Its implied focus that goal was lacking in 2007. Probably that's the reason why they were failed to get more grants from the government. So these three were easier parts, right? I always say try to pick easier one first, because you can always cut copy paste in your answer, right? Now what is left? We are done with these three objectives, right? And now we are just going to attempt the first two, right? So and there's much to write here. There are so many things to write here. So try to be attentive. The first one says to provide education which promotes intellectual initiatives, right? Intellectual initiatives represents the critical thinking and produce confident and ambitious graduates who have reached the highest academic standards to prepare them for the success of life and at the workplace. So what are the key important points here? Key important points are this one: confident, ambitious graduates, highest academic standards, success in life and at workplace, right? So let's see what's here. The first thing which we can see here is that there is an increase in number of students, right? Initially there were 24,000 students, now there are 27,000 students. So if you divide 27,000 with 24,000, you can say that the number of students increased by 12.5%, right? And I'm not sure what is the fee structure. 135.6 divided by 24 is 5,650 was the fee here. Now in this case it's 148 divided by 27, 5481. Probably slight reduction in fee, right? So overall revenue has been increased, right? Revenue has been, in number of students has been increased by 12.5%. If you check the revenue percentage, revenue has been increased by 9%, right? And what else is related to what else is related here? In expenditure, we have academic staff cost and we have administration staff cost. So we have two different type of staff: academic staff and administration staff, right? And both costs have been increased, right? We are assuming same salary, so 80.8 divided by 76.2 is 6%, right? This has been increased by 6%. And administration cost is 50.4 divided by 48 is 1.5%, 5%, right? And that's it. Premises and facility cost has reduced. So overall, it's quite surprising that the revenue has been increased by, number of students has been increased by 12.5%, which is a real increase, but unfortunately the academic staff cost and administration staff cost has not been increased. So probably this is representing that the increase in resources were not there, and that is something which we have already seen, that the company is compromising on its environmental steps because of the staff shortages, right? So let's see what we can do here. We are focusing on the first part basically, right? Let's see what we can get from the first part. Okay, the course is intellectually stimulating and quality of teaching is high. This is related to first objective, right? I have received good advice and support with my student from academic staff. Do you think that this is related? So what is the second one? Second one says to provide an organized, efficient learning environment with access to cutting edge technology and facility, right? So it's mostly related with infrastructure. So academic staff will go in the first part. The course is well organized and administration is good. Which one? First one. The standard of room, facility as equipment is good. This is the second one. The course has helped me to develop as a person. First or second? First. Overall satisfaction? First. Okay. The overall satisfaction percentage is used by education authority to set a maximum level of tuition fee. Alright. Then here there are a few other indicators. Student graduating with a first class honors degree. This is related to first one, right? Employer happy with the graduates from Robin Hood University. Is this related to first one or second one? Workplace. Prepare them to have for success in life and workplace. So workplace is employer. So first one is related to employer. Second one is also related with employer. Third one, ratio of student to staff member, related to the first one. Staff retention rate. Acha, here the problem is it's not mentioned that whether this is a academic staff or the teaching staff or the administration staff. So right now we are assuming that it represents the average, right? Or you may write your own assumption, whether you are taking it with respect to academic one or whether you are taking this with respect to administration, right? Because nothing has been mentioned here, so you can take your own assumptions here. So right now we are assuming this to be both, right? Overall, right? But you can take your own assumption. Okay, the staff retention rate in 2005 were consistent with the previous year. Data gathered from students who graduated in 2005 shows 65% students found graduated job within 1 year of leaving, compared with 68 who graduated in 2004. First or second? First one was mostly related with the quality of service and success of students in their life. first one, right? So we have so many things to discuss in number one, right? So you may pause this video and try to, because you have that question, so just pause this video and try to think how to how you will construct your answer, right? uh, I mean, you can, because you guys are good in writing in the sense that you don't have to worry about the English. So what you can do is you can just write these in paragraphs, right? And then we can rearrange it. Okay, so just pause this video, try to write it in paragraph, and then we will continue from here. Okay, so we can start with the quality of teaching, right? Quality of teaching, because quality of teaching and critical thinking, right? A quality of teaching, and we can start with critical thinking. Critical thinking is actually this one. So quality of teaching and critical thinking, oh, both are here, so we can put an and here. So that has been reduced by 3%. And why there is a reduction in the quality of teaching, we can connect it with the second one, because academic staff, right? Academic staff, I have received a good advice, so and students are not getting good advice satisfaction ratio, you can write, reduced by 4%, which means that students are the teacher is not guiding them properly. The teacher is unable to properly satisfy him or her. And why that is so? Because the ratio of staff to student has been reduced, right? There is a reduction, sorry, there is an increase in staff usage, or you can say there is a shortage in staff. You can write this point, the next one, right? Because the staff is not available. Initially it was 35:1, now it's 40:1, right? And this is also evident by financially. We can also see that number of students increased by 12.5% compared with academic staff, which is just increased by 6%. So students increased by 12.5% compared with staff, which just increased by 6%, assuming that salary is same, right? You have to write this assumption, right? And along with that, if you are taking this assumption that this staff retention is actually connected with academic staff, then you can say that, okay, fine, along with all these issues, there was a staff shortage, and the staff which is there has also been replaced, right? Because the retention ratio is just 75% now. So if you are connecting it with academic staff, you may connect it with here, right? And all of these, and there was one more thing. The students are graduating, the quality of graduated students reduced by 8%, because now just 20% is passing through with a flying color, sorry, with first class honors degree, right? And probably these are the reasons why we are seeing that the staff, the employer are not happy. And so sorry, and then we can connect all with this one, people who are getting, and that's why student who are getting, what was it, within 1 year, within 1 year of passing out, it has been reduced. Employment of a student with passing within 1 year has been reduced. So this is middle part. I mean, graduation, getting the job, right? And then it comes the employer survey, right? If as far as employer is concerned, employers are not happy because the quality of services, quality of teaching has been compromised, right? Because less staff are teaching, or less staff is available for teaching, right? And they are not building critical thinking element. One thing which is good here is the personal development. Personal development was 80 to 82%, which means that this is a good thing here. So you have to write it, personal development, which was actually connected with the confidence here, right? So confidence building is good, right? Is good, right? And what else we can write here? Can you see one written anywhere which we haven't considered? Yeah, we are done. So what we can connect from here? See, intellectual contribution, potential intellectual initiatives. This is connected with this part, right? This is connected with this first part, right? Probably you can connect this one also, right? And confidence was ambitious graduates who have reached to the highest academic standards. Highest academic standard has been compromised here because now students are graduating less as compared with initial one, right? So that this part has also been compromised. Confidence has been improved. Then it says that to prepare them for the success in life and with the workplace. So success in life and workplace, this is something which we can relate for success in life and workplace, right? So this is basically how you can build your answer. There can be some other ways of doing the same thing, but this is how you can build your answer. There's one more thing which if you want to write, you may. If you get time, you may. There was something which says that making the entry requirements for student slightly lower than the previous year. So this is something which you may pick, right? Some intelligent students may pick this point also. So if you are reducing the entry requirement, so obviously right now the quality of services, quality of graduates has been compromised. But if you are reducing the student entry quality, student enrollment quality, or quality of students which are getting enrolled, then it will have a negative impact on the future graduates, right? And it will reduce employer confidence further. It will reduce your employment opportunities, right? What kind of graduates they are producing, right? So we are done with the first part also. Now what's left is the second part, to provide organized, efficient learning environment with access to cutting edge technology and facilities. So yeah, this one. So this is something which is evident here, that it's related to this one. And oh, I have written 2. It's not 2, it's 1. Okay, so this is the only indicator which we can see here, which is actually standard of room, facility and equipment is good. And this is basically something which is uh, not, I mean, which is surprising, because premises, facility, and technology cost, there is a reduction in premises, facilities, and technology cost, although there is an increase in the number of students. And yeah, okay, fine, yeah, that is evident. And there has been a massive reduction in the satisfaction rate of the second strategic objective, which says that initially 92% students said that they were satisfied with the standard of room, facilities, and equipment, but now just 83% students are satisfied. So there has been a massive reduction. And why that is so? Because despite of increase in the number of students, you have reduced this cost, right? So technically we can see that the surplus has been doubled, right? There has been a doubling in the overall surplus. But if you see the strategic objective, there's just one objective, which is there's one strategic objective, which is this one, which has been achieved successfully. Apart from the fourth one, there is no other objective which company has achieved, or company has performed well. So this increase in the profitability, this increase is the profitability or surplus, is not depicting the correct picture. If you see the other parts, the company has compromised on the facility of university, the university has compromised on the environment related facility, the company has not hired academic staff, there's a shortage of administration staff, right? And the employers are not happy. The university has increased its revenue by inducting more less qualified or less capable students in the university, which is definitely having a negative impact on the overall quality of the current students and also the graduates. It will impact the graduates, right? So these are few things which you should write. Okay, so now let's move towards this part and let's see what I have written here, because I just want to read the first part, because second part is not that issue, the first part maybe, right? So let me try to highlight what the important points are. The quality of teaching, which is among one of the core service provided by university, has reduced by 3%. Along with that, students who are graduating from first class degree has also been dropped by 8%, which is a massive decline, pointing out the presence of teaching issues, right? One possible explanation can be that average staff ratio has been increased from 35 to 40 is to 1, and the reason for increase in ratio is that number of students increased by 12.5%, but the staff salary increased by 6%, depicting that the issue of shortage of staff. The deficiency is evident in the declining response rate too, where dropping from 80. What is the second response? Okay, this academic staff, right? Perfect. Okay, dropping from 86 to 82%, student expressed reduction in the staff satisfaction and the advice and support they received during the year. Additionally, staff retention ratio implying decreased by 2000 in 2006, implying a lack of familiarity with RU among staff, right? So we have considered that part as well. However, the feedback conducted represent that students' confidence building has been increased. Contrast, 75% of the employers were satisfied with the graduates they hired, but this year has dropped to 72%, right? So there is a 3% reduction in the satisfaction rate. 65% students secured job, so there is a reduction here as well. So we have first showed the teaching issue, then admitting issue, and now we are moving towards the future part, the relaxation of entry requirement for the students in 2006 at the university suggests that 2006 recruiters are not highly qualified as 2005. Okay, fine. Students, the future could see a further decline in percentage of graduates securing job within a year. So 23% you have increased the fee income, but this has compromised on the ability of student, that will compromise, right? So this is basically, you can read, you stop this video and read this part at your own. So this is basically how we can construct the answer. So clearly the first part is will contain more marks compared with second, third, fourth and fifth. So I believe probably first marks will be of 6 to 8 marks, and if we are left with 12 marks, then these four will be of 12 marks. So probably it's not equal number game, but still you should be able to write it accordingly. Okay, so I hope you got this correctly, most of the part. See you next. Allah Hafiz.